I'd like to welcome all of you to the Ward 1 Councillor debates that are being held by the Greater Sudbury Taxpayers Association. My name is Mike Roach. I'm the president of the GSTA. I've got a couple of housekeeping items I just want to go over before we start. One is if you have cell phones, will you please ensure that they're turned off. Secondly, the candidates all have name tags on their chest. If you'd like to talk to them afterwards, it's the guys in with the red name tags. If you have any issues on the event itself, and you want to talk to the GSTA, we're the guys in the blue name tags. Also, we are videotaping the debates. We have 2 cameras, both in the center, so I'd ask that you not bump the cameras, or we'll just be cognitive that they're there. I'd like to take the opportunity to basically welcome you all. The GSTA has been working pretty hard at getting these organized. It's the first time, I believe, that we've ever had ward debates, especially in all 12 wards in the Greater City of Sudbury, which is great. The turnout is fantastic. I'm glad to see that we have this organization. It is important, obviously, and that's been part of our mandate, is to increase the awareness of what's going on at City Hall, and also to put some emphasis on the importance of the councillors themselves. We feel an informed vote is the best way to get the best city council that we can, and so this is part of the process that we put in place, is allow you, the voter, to meet the candidates that are going to be representing you in your ward. Part of the GSTA being formed was based on a few objectives, and some of those objectives are, one of the key things we're trying to do is maximize the value of the tax dollars, your tax dollars being spent. Also, we'd like to keep the tax increases to a minimum, so we're advocating for tax increases that are at inflation or below. Also, focus on core services of the city, ensure that City Hall is working on the core services. And we'd also like to start promoting transparency at City Hall. So those are some of the objectives that the GSTA was formed on. In order to do that, we do need your support. So we have the ability for you to become members of the GSTA, and that allows you to get information. You can access our website and see what's happening. We also have Twitter accounts that we post what's going on. So we do encourage you, if you're interested in supporting us, to go to the website. You can sign up and become a member. It's very simple. There's a membership spot where you can sign up, and then that'll get you updates from the GSTA. Please listen carefully to the debate. Feel free to submit your questions. As you came in, there was a form where you can put your questions down. We will be going through those, and there's potential that they'll be asked during the debate. We have a moderator this evening, and it's my pleasure to introduce the moderator. Brian is a lawyer. He's been a lawyer with the law firm of Weaver Simmons here in Sudbury. He's been in practice for 42 years with his firm. He's a senior member of their corporate commercial department. Brian was born and raised in the Sudbury area. He's been and continues to be involved as a board member of numerous community organizations. He sat as a board member and vice chair for 6 years with Greater Sudbury Utilities, and currently sits as a board member with the Sudbury Art Gallery. He is not, however, a member of the Greater Sudbury Taxpayers Association, nor a member of our board or executive. At this time, I'd like to introduce Brian as our moderator.
So as you all know, lawyers are boring, and probably no exceptions here tonight, but we are going to have our entertainment and the excitement of the evening presented by these folks who are our candidates for Ward 1. Our goal tonight is to allow you to make an informed decision. Certainly it's trite to say that if we have the luxury of being able to make those decisions as presented to us on the 27th of October, and it's important to the extent that we are permitted to make an informed decision. The councillors' debates tonight, and this being the first of 12, it's not meant to measure only the skill with which some may manipulate the English language, but rather to allow the candidates to set forth their thoughts and ideas in response to some important questions that have been posed by the association relating to this ward. And in this manner, the association hopes to assist you in making that informed decision. The candidates have in advance drawn numbers to determine the order in which they will be delivering their opening and closing remarks. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to make an opening and closing statement. The candidates will be asked not to interrupt the others during those opening and closing remarks. All of the candidates have been given a series of 5 questions prepared by the association in advance of this evening's debate. I believe that a copy of those 5 questions has been made available at the front desk, and any of you who don't have it, that wish it, they signal so, and I think perhaps somebody may deliver to you a copy of those questions. I will read the first of those questions and ask each of the candidates to provide the response. And following discussion of the first response, we'll move on with each of the remaining questions in the order set up. Following full discussion of the 5 identified questions, I'll read the questions from the floor and seek responses from any candidate who's been asked a question. So, following discussion, we'll move to the other 4 questions, and then we will have an opportunity, following the open debate questions, to respond to the questions that you as a group may have presented in writing and presented up here. And presumably, you, unless it's been identified as to who you would wish the answer to be, we will have each of the candidates provide a response should they choose to do so. Following, though, the question period, and hopefully we will be able to end at about 9 this evening or earlier, we will ask each of the candidates to provide a 2-minute closing response. Now there are, I understand, flag bearers who will measure the time. There's one, and each candidate will be identified that they are closing in on their allotted time by a yellow flag, a warning flag, and at the end of their 2 minutes, they will be identified that their time is up by someone here from the association identifying the red light. So for candidates, take note of that. So let me introduce for you all of the candidates in the order in which they have chosen their number. Number 1 is Mark Simeone. Yeah, I knew that. I was just making sure that you folks were Mark Simeone. Number 2 was Chris Spry. Number 3, Dennis Barron. Number 4, Paul Soucy. Number 5, Matthew Lamonti. Number 6, Matthew Alexander. And number 7, Tom Trainer. So we will start with Mark, number 1. And Mark, would you provide us with a 2-minute opening statement?
First of all, I'd like to welcome all the residents of Ward 1 to this debate. Thank you very much for coming out. My name is Mark Signoretti. Basically, I just want to introduce you a little bit about me. I'm a resident of Ward 1. I've been a lifelong resident of Ward 1. I grew up on Marcel Street. I currently live up in Moomla, which consists of Ward 1. I run my own business, coach my son's hockey team. I'm a dedicated family man. I'll work hard for you. I have a lot of experience, just not on the business side of things, but I've been on different boards that I currently stand on. So I'm well represented in the community, and I think you want someone that's gonna be a voice for you guys. I've talked to many residents. I've been door to door. I've walked almost 13 kilometers of Ward 1, and I've talked to probably 90% of the residents thus far, and I continue to walk those, go to people's homes and listen to their concerns, try to offer what I think they're looking for, and try to do the best job for you guys. So over those series of questions, you're gonna hear a little bit more about me, what I'm all about, what I plan to do for you guys, and main concern is listening to what you guys want, because you guys are the residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, Senior Ed. Number 2, Chris, would you join us?
All right, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to address the people of Ward 1 this evening and the GSTA. I think both are very, very important. Let me say it's great to be back in the neighborhood. I grew up just around the corner here on Buchanan, lived there most of my life, and then I got married to my beautiful wife, Amanda Neshi, and we purchased a home on Sudbury Drive. I've been a lifelong resident of Ward 1, and I want to remain in Ward 1. Make it a better place, make it a vibrant place. Make it a place where we can live, work, and play. You know what? I've talked to the residents of over 2,000 homes so far. My concerns are their concerns. My concerns are your concerns. So I'm going to ensure that the 3 pillars of accountability, transparency, and integrity remain my main focus of my campaign, because that's what the people of Ward 1 have told me. We can grow Ward 1 and make it a positive place. Why can't our ward be the center of economic growth, cultural growth, educational growth? We have the potential. We now must make it happen. Together, with your assistance, using the incredible tools and talents of the people of Ward 1, we can make sure that our ward reaches the potential that you and I believe it can reach. You can count on me, rest assured, that I will return your phone calls, that I will act on your concerns, and that we will and that we will communicate as we move forward over the course of the next 4 years, growing our ward, growing our city. Together, we will be making sure we reach the potential that we all believe we have here in the greater city of Sudbury, and most importantly, here in Ward 1. So I ask you, on October 27th, when you're going to the ballot box, give Spry a try. Thank you.
Number 3 spot, Dennis.
Good evening, bonsoir. My name is Denis Farron. I'm currently married to Lisa Farron for the last 4 years. We have 5 children together, 2 in university, and others working, and a grandchild due any minute now. She's staying by the phone just in case. I've worked construction for over 20 years, and I worked on construction projects where my former bosses is here actually could vouch for me. That they built me the way I am now. And our family has a great pride and tradition in this building, this infrastructure in town here. And over the years, I've worked on bridges, water treatment plants, sewage treatment plants, managed large projects. And then I was fortunate enough to get in with the French Public School Board, the CSPGNO. One of our schools is in Ward 1 in Edinburgh. And from there, I manage 20 schools. I do all the maintenance repairs, I deal with the fire department, we deal with the city on various occasions, the police department, and very fulfilling work dealing with children. And one of my focuses would be on children and seniors, because Pioneer Manor was dear to our heart because my father passed away 2 weeks before the grand opening, and he was a project manager at Pioneer Manor, and that was our pride and joy. He did 4 big phases at Pioneer Manor. So we look around town, we can drive around, we can show our children what we built in this town here. And I look forward to representing Ward 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Number 4 spot, Paul Susie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Susi, and I'm here to ask for your support on Monday, October the 27th, by electing me as your councillor in Ward 1. I believe the person you elect should be a person who will react to the needs and wishes that you bring forward in a timely and successful manner. I have the ability, the experience, the desire, the time, and the commitment to get those things that have to be done accomplished. My community involvement within the hospital, the schools, and many other community organizations have given me the necessary tools that are needed to deal with all the many and varied situations that we will be encountering at City Hall. The last 4 years of turmoil and chaos that we have endured at City Hall are over. Starting December 1, 2014, we will be starting to build a new city. A city where the needs and the wishes of the taxpayers will be acted on by a city staff that will be polite, receptive, and accountable as part of their daily routine. A city where management role will be carried out at the direction of the mayor and council, set out for them in a professional and efficient manner, and they will be held responsible to ensure that the job is well done. The taxpayers of this ward and the city should never again have to endure the last 4 years. I believe I have the ability, the leadership, to lead the way in an era of growth, stability, and prosperity for this ward and this city. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Number 5 spot, Matthew.
Hello. First, I'd like to thank the Greater Sudbury Taxpayers Association for giving us this outlet to reach out to you and engage the average citizen, which is something we haven't had before. I think it's great. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out, and I hope I can impress you some. Now, I was at work talking with a coworker who happened to live in the West End, and he asked, why should he vote for me? I said, well, I want to make things better. I want to make the roads run smoother. I want construction to be done in a timely manner and the proper way the first time. And he said, well, they all say that. And so I said, well, I want to make the city more accountable and open to the voter. And he said, well, they all say that. And he said, what makes you different? And what makes me different is that I'm not the other guys. I'm younger. I may not have the resume, but I'm dedicated, and I'm one of those people that gets unnerved when I see 3-month road work on region that should have been 6, that's turning into 6-month work because of poor planning. You've got 2 contractors, with one saying it's the other and the other saying it's the city. That should have been fixed in planning. And that's what I want to bring to the city. I want to bring not just promises and an empty seat. I want to make sure it gets done. I'm going to get angry until I get it, and I'm not going to settle for mediocre. And so I may not be what you're looking for, specifically when you think of a typical candidate. I may not be as angry as everybody else, but I'm not just going to bring complaints. I'm going to bring solutions. I'm going to bring a platform that actually means that you're going to be able to access City Hall openly. There's going to be transparency. There's going to be better work done from planning all the way to completion, and there's going to be a better Ward 1 for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Number 6 spot, Matthew Alexander.
Good evening. Thanks a lot for coming. This is an amazing turnout. It's actually really exciting and amazing to see this many people coming out for a ward debate. You know, we're not running for mayor. We're not going to try to run the whole city. But it's incredible to see people taking an interest in their neighborhoods and coming out and being involved in this. I've knocked on hundreds of doors over the course of this summer, and here's how it goes. Hello, my name is Matt Alexander. I'm running for City Council here in Ward 1. I'm introducing myself today, and I'd like to ask, do you think City Hall's been doing a good job lately? The response is pretty much what you'd expect. Actually more polite and a little bit more shy than I expected. It's usually a chuckle or sort of a shake of the head, like, Are you from around here? The reason why I ask the question is because we all experience the city, we walk the streets, we drive the roads, and we see the kind of job that City Hall's been doing the last 4 years. And in a lot of cases, we wonder, well, couldn't it have been done a little bit differently? If I had been in charge, I would have done this or that. That's the kind of response that I've been getting door to door. But I've been asking that question, I've been leading with a question to you, instead of trying to tell you what I think, because I know what I think, and I know what my friends think. I need to know what you think if I expect to represent you on City Council. So I have a simple 6-question survey, 6 statements, do you agree or disagree? And I've been asking those questions, getting your input, and that's the kind of counselor I want to be. I want to have your input on things. I want you informed, involved, and influential in decisions at City Hall. And from there, we can get into the transparency, accountability, the fiscal responsibility, because there's about 12,000, I think, living in Ward 1. 160,000 people living in Sudbury. That's a lot of great ideas. So I'd like to use those and help implement your ideas. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Matthew. And the 7th position, Mr. Tom Trainer.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Tom Trainer, and I'd first off like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. It shows the amount of interest that there is in Ward 1. Allow me to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the past chair of the Northeast Community Care Access Center, past board member and chair of the Sudbury Community Care Access Center, past chair of the Child and Family Center of Sudbury, past chair of the Walden Mentally and Physically Handicapped. I'm also a present member of the Patient and Family Advisory Council for the Northeast Cancer Center. I'm running on accountability at all levels, from the mayor, council, and frontline staff to the community. Also working to keep seniors in their homes. The infrastructure, roads, sewer, and water, I believe, especially here in the West End, need a lot of looking into. And also keeping the next generation working in Sudbury. I pledge to work with the United Council for the betterment of the people of Ward 1 and the city of Greater Sudbury. Thank you.
Thank you, John. That's the end of the opening remarks. Now we will proceed into the advanced debate questions. And these questions, as we have indicated, have been made available to the candidates earlier today. They've had an opportunity to reflect on them. And we have but one mic. And the process, as I indicated earlier, we're not here to measure just how well somebody may be able to manipulate the English language. We're here to become informed. And so the process that we want to engage in is, I will read the first question, and the candidate in the first spot will have the opportunity to first deal with an answer to that question,